Good afternoon. Welcome to CBS 7 Midday. I'm Sarah Strackhouse. Ector County ISD students could go to school somewhere new starting next school year. ECISD board members got a look at the first draft of the changes to school boundaries at last night's board meeting. Several district officials put together several different drafts for elementary, middle, and high school boundary lines. Current district lines have been in place for over 2 decades. District officials say change is necessary.
We haven't done boundary adjustments in this district, comprehensive boundary adjustments, for 25 years. So this is quite a change for us.
The district will have several community meetings to get public input on all drafts starting September 8th. To get a look at each map for yourself, we've posted them on our website at cbs7.com. And also at last night's meeting, board members approved names for each of the 3 new elementary schools, plus a name change for Hood Junior High. Far West Elementary School A will be Edward K. Downing Elementary. Far West Elementary B will be George E. Buddy West Elementary. And North Elementary will be Dr. Lee Buse Elementary. And the Naming Facility Committee also proposed renaming Hood Junior High to Wilson Young Medal of Honor Middle School in honor of Marvin Rex Young and Alfred Mack Wilson. They also recommended adding the name George H.W. Bush to New Tech Odessa. School board members accepting all name proposals. Enrollment at one Midland ISD elementary school is now closing due to an influx of new students. District officials announced Tuesday after the Scarborough Elementary is now closed to new enrollment for the 2014-2015 school year. New students to the Scarborough Elementary attendance zone will be offered an alternative campus to attend, according to a press release. Parents or guardians should contact the MISD Student Services Office on the 4th floor of Central Office. Ector County Commissioners will soon vote on a 10% pay raise for themselves. County Judge Susan Redford says the measure will bring their salaries up to par with averages. Their base will now be more than $50,000 when you add a car, allowance, and benefits. That total is well over $80,000 in compensation.
Some people are adamant that it should not happen. It's unconscionable to vote yourself a pay raise, but there really is no other way for the commissioners to get a pay raise.
And all county employees will get a 5% raise, while departments like the Sheriff's Office will get as much as a 15%, although base salary for a Sheriff's Deputy will still be lower than the County Commissioners and the Odessa Police Department. And it's that time of year again. The Midland County Fair begins tomorrow. It'll be taking place at the Horseshoe Arena in Midland. Tickets are $5, and this year some of the attractions include a carnival, bull riding, cowboy mounted shooters, team roping, and new this year, monster truck rides. That's just some of the many events you'll see if you go to the fair this weekend. And with your eye on Texas, Governor Rick Perry now has a mugshot. He turned himself in at the Travis County Justice Center in Austin yesterday to have his picture and fingerprints taken. Perry has already gathered a team of lawyers to fight the felony charges against him. The charges come as a result of Perry's threat to veto funding for a unit run by the DA's office after District Attorney Rosemary Lemberg refused to resign following a DUI arrest. Texas Democrats accuse Perry of ulterior motives for the veto, saying Lemberg was investigating a misuse of state money. And State Senator Wendy Davis is calling out Governor Rick Perry for sending the National Guard to the border. Davis, who is currently campaigning to take his job, spoke yesterday at the Odessa Crisis Center. She believes soldiers have no responsibility in the current border crisis. If elected governor, she promises to recall the troops and consult with South Texas authorities to study whether or not to maintain the force there.
Governor Perry sent the wrong boots to the border communities. Governor Perry didn't listen to the local law enforcement folks who have been working for many, many years dealing with this issue.
Davis's main focus at yesterday's press conference was her fight to help sexual assault survivors. She recently released an ad attacking her opponent, Texas Attorney General Greg Abbott. She claims he does not do enough for rape victims. And Greg Abbott's office issued a response to the Davis press conference, calling Abbott an advocate for sexual assault victims. The press release touted Abbott's work to arrest over 4,500 sex offenders and award over $1 billion to victims of crimes like sexual assault and domestic violence. And topping national headlines, the mood in Ferguson was relatively calm until early this morning when there were reports of shots fired. Shots were fired around 12 a.m. Officers chased several people near Forest and Canfield, and bottles were then thrown at police. Multiple arrests were made near Canfield and inside the media staging area just moments later. Police ordered media members to leave the area around 12:20 a.m., citing safety concerns. The Associated Press reports Attorney General Eric Holder travels today to the St. Louis suburb to meet with FBI and other officials to carry out an independent federal investigation. And a hospital in Sacramento says it's dealing with a possible Ebola case. Kaiser Permanente South Sacramento Medical Center says a patient was admitted and is in isolation as a precaution. Hospital administrators say the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention will be testing blood samples to rule out the presence of the virus. 4 countries in West Africa are currently experiencing an outbreak of Ebola. According to CDC, there have been more than 1,200 deaths from the virus in 2014 and 2,200 confirmed and suspected cases. Coming up on CBS 7 Midday, find out why 62-year-old blind man is running thousands of miles for his grandson. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to Midday. A Fort Stockton teacher took part in a fellowship program hosted by the Siemens Foundation and Discovery Education. Dawn Ramirez, a teacher at Fort Stockton Middle School, was chosen for the program that invigorates teachers to reach their students by inspiring them to pursue STEM education and careers. While attending, she worked along a scientist on a project looking at the conversion of biomass into biofuel.
This opportunity gave me a chance to kind of try those shoes on for a little while and be able to share that with my kids. You know, to see what real scientists are doing in a national laboratory like Oak Ridge was really phenomenal, and it's really inspiring. So I can take that back to my kids and you know, show them there's a lot of careers in science besides just like mixing chemicals in a lab.
Ramirez says she will take what she learned and use research in her classroom. She also received a grant to purchase supplies and equipment for her classes. And ECISD is partnering up with Harmony Home to fight against sexual abuse. Harmony Home tells CBS 7 they will be training over 600 teachers in the prevention of sexual abuse in young children and adults. They'll be using Stewards of Children evidence-based curriculum that contains 5 steps on how to prevent, react, and recognize sexual abuse. CBS 7 spoke with Executive Director Denise Malm, who says they've been needing something like this for a long time.
Folks who come to work every day at Harmony Home are devoted to not only serving the kids who come here in the community of Odessa, but devoted to doing that at their very, very best.
Malm also says their goal is to have every campus trained by May of 2015. And recent studies have shown that car crashes are the leading cause of death for children under the age of 14. This shocking statistic is something the Medical Examiner's Office and the Odessa Fire Department are well aware of and hope to change by educating parents about car seat safety.
We thought maybe if we could bring this to everybody's attention and hopefully get them to seek additional information on the proper use of and the necessary use of those seats, that maybe it would save a life.
Officials teach a class every Thursday at Odessa Fire Station on how to properly use and install a car seat. More information can be found on our website at cbs7.com. The family of an American photojournalist reportedly murdered by Islamic militants are confirming his death. But U.S. intelligence officials are still working to determine whether or not a video of the incident is authentic. Militants from the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria released the video on Tuesday, allegedly showing the beheading of James Foley. He went missing in Syria 2 years ago while working for the Global Post website. In a statement released on Facebook yesterday, James Foley's mother mourned her son's loss and called on kidnappers to spare the lives of remaining hostages. And fighting between Israel and Hamas militants in Middle East is showing no sign of letting up. And Egyptian efforts to end the month-long war between both sides failed once again when Palestinian militants fired dozens of rockets on Tuesday. Israel responded with airstrikes, killing at least 3 people in Gaza. More than 2,000 Palestinians, most of them civilians, have been killed in the fighting, and 67 Israelis have died. All but 3 of them were soldiers. Coming up after the break, Chief Meteorologist Greg Morgan will have a look at your forecast. Stay with us. In this afternoon's medical headlines, patients are not allowed to smoke in hospitals, and a new program may help them quit for good. Researchers at Massachusetts General Hospital tested an intervention system on patients after discharge. It included automated phone calls to provide support and 3 months of free anti-smoking medication. A study in the Journal of American Medical Association says the program increased the success rate for quitting by more than 70%. And a new study says commuters should consider leaving the car at home. Research in the British Medical Journal finds significant health benefits in walking to work, cycling, or taking public transportation. Commuters who chose those options rather than driving were found to have healthier body weights and a lower percentage of fat. And elderly people often struggling for a good night of sleep, and a new study has found a possible explanation. Researchers say a group of neurons act as a sleep switch in the brain. Older people and Alzheimer's patients start to lose those neurons, which damages the quality of their sleep. A study in the journal Brain finds that people in their 70s sleep about 1 hour less each night than people in their 20s. We want to take a look at what's trending around the world this morning. The 62-year-old blind man from Illinois is running what adds up to the equivalent of the perimeter of the United States, all for his grandchild who has cystic fibrosis. His goal? To raise $500,000 by running about 20 miles a day. He likes to run with a buddy or on a track because of his disability. And this heartwarming video on YouTube has gone viral of a son buying his mom her dream car. He first gets her down the stairs pretending to film a documentary, and when she finds out, she falls to the ground, excited, and starts to cry. And if you've been on YouTube lately, then you've probably seen this exciting race footage. It's a tortoise facing up against a truck in a kitchen. And it's somewhat unclear who wins the race, but I'd probably put my money on the truck. When we return, we'll take a look at your forecast on CBS 7 News, your eye on West Texas. Welcome back. Let's take one quick last look at your weather forecast. It looks pretty nice the next few days. About a 15% chance of rain today, 10 and 10 Thursday and Friday, and Saturday and Sunday looking to be pretty hot, about 94, 95 across the board until next week. Now be sure to join us for the front page at 4. Thanks for joining us today. You make it a great day.